and join us for a pledge to our flag.
To the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you all joining us. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. It's great to see all of these nice young faces in here. When I pulled in and saw the cars, I thought maybe there was something that was on the agenda that was really contentious. So and then I remembered, oh, that's why we're here. So thank you all. It's good to see you all. With that, we'll move into 1.03, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. All right, there's a motion and a second. Any comment?
Yeah, I'd like to see if we can't remove 205 and 206. There was some data that we needed to look at, and we just don't have that. And so I think we should postpone those until we get that data.
Okay, maker of the motion, do you want to?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and the second stands? I don't remember who had the second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Anderson.
I got your data. It's not attached to the agenda, but I have data. I said I'd come and tell you about it, so I have it. But if you feel like it needs to be removed for other reasons, that's fine. But I do have data to share with you.
No, stay with it. Yeah.
Okay, so it stayed on there. We have a amendment that's been a friendly amendment accepted onto the motion. All in favor or any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So this will remove items 2.05 and 2.06 off the agenda for this evening.
Okay. I think with the data, I would like to discuss it further to suggest more edits tonight. I don't know why removing it from the agenda. It's not like we have to vote on it tonight. I think that we can discuss edits, that we can get the data from CJ, take more time, put it on the next board meeting. Personally, I'd like to go over it tonight.
Okay. Is that a nay?
That's a nay.
Okay. Any further nays? All right. Chair votes aye as well by voice. Whatever I'm trying to say. By voice count, it sounds like the motion passes. So we'll remove those off the agenda for this evening. Brooke, that doesn't mean that you couldn't bring it up under board comments, of course, and other things that on that side that we could look at as well if you'd like. We just won't be able to go into action on it. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to 1.04, which is the introduction of our Elko County School District Board member. So welcome, Miss Iris Silva Castro.
Okay. Iris is a senior at Elko High School pursuing an advanced diploma. She has been enrolled into several AP, honors, and college courses throughout her high school career. She has participated in National Honor Society, Student Council, and Girls Track and Field. Throughout her years at Elko High School, she has been fortunate to win several awards, including Geometry Honors Student of the Year, Chemistry Honors Student of the Year, and AP Biology Student of the Year. Outside of high school, she enjoys spending time with her family, running, and studying. Once she graduates, she plans on attending college for radiology or dental hygiene. Regardless of what degree she chooses to pursue, she hopes to work in the pediatric department at a hospital or clinic. With that degree, she also hopes to travel the world and expand and apply her knowledge to people in need across several countries. Welcome, Iris.
Welcome, Iris. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say at this time?
No, not at the.
All righty. No worries whatsoever. 1.05 is recognition of our fall sports state champions and state runners-up. This is a non-action item, but we would like to recognize our student athletes. So with that, I know that we have our coaches that have already been presented the certificate. So if one of you would like to come forward. Thanks, Coach. If you'll read off the certificates and introduce your team, we'd appreciate it.
Actually are going to be presented a certificate for their 4.0, but it's a combined total score is how they figure that. And Iris, this is great that you're a runner and you love running because we have a Elko and Spring Creek represented pretty well. So that's good that you're running. So why don't you line up right here and I'll call, when I call you, then you can go and shake each of the board members. Think them back to me. So Ellie Bradley, she's comes. Kendall Capurro. Sophia Dorohoff. Audrey Graff. Zoe Starkey. Kelly Mortensen. And Eve Turpin. So the girls were the 2024 state champions. They were actually finished third, runner-up to the Elko Indians, who will be introduced after us. And so we had a great season, not only academically, but as far as competitively, we were right in there too. So thank you. On the boys' side, I'll be introducing the 2024 state runner-up from Spring Creek High School. So if the boys will all stand up, we'll go through the same type of routine. The boys finished second at the state meet. And with that, that brings us with, we have some seniors. I don't know if they're in that order though, but we have a senior, Brennan Dastrup. We have a freshman, Damon Tilger. We have a junior, Ethan Arndt. We have a senior, Rafael Ocampo. We have a junior, Rhett White. We have a sophomore, Ty Rigby. And we have a junior, William Hodnett. So the 2024 state runner-up, Spring Creek High School Spartans. With that, I guess we'll introduce Coach from Elko.
All right, thank you. And so we wanted to recognize our girls 2024 cross-country state runner-up team. We're missing a few, but we've had a really great year. This has been a great team to coach. These girls have worked really hard. They've shown great teamwork, and we've had great leadership from our senior Liliana Haynes here. And really proud of what these girls have accomplished and can't wait to see what they do going forward. So thank you. Haynes. Justice Lee. Allison Ortiz. And these girls aren't here, but I'll still read off their names. We had Jalissa Rivera acting as our team manager, Avery Schulte, Jamie Wilson, Natalie Boster, Regan Burden, Allison Gordon, Mackenzie McShane, and I believe that's it. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations to those teams. Do we have anyone from Wells present? All right, we also had a, perhaps I should have clarified that. For the Wells team. All right. Cassie, our Wells team, what did they? Oh, I see. There we are. You even handed that to me. So congratulations to the academic state runners up from Wells High School for the ladies, for the girls, and also for the boys cross country academic state champions from Wells. So let's give them a round of applause as well. Thank you very much. And again, congratulations to our student athletes. 1.06 is receiving a presentation from the Northside Elementary Lucky Coders. If you'd like to come on up.
Remember? Yeah. Oh, here it is. It's been a minute. Mostly use Google products. Well, this is the amazing robotics team that we have at Northside Elementary. And there are, let me go to the next one. So we have one robotics team currently at our school called the Lucky Coders. They've been in existence for around 3 years, and all 9 of them showed up tonight to meet you and tell you about what we do. They range from 3rd grade to 6th grade because there's no robotics really at Flagview. And so we've invited them to keep coming back to our robotics team so that they can keep competing. The league that we compete in is the Lego Challenge League, and it goes up to 8th grade. So once they reach 8th grade, they'll have to go, and I think the high school has a robotics team. So, but this is pretty typical. Mountain View invites older kids back down to their clubs also. So each of these kids is outstanding in coding, in teamwork, all of the things that we're looking for. So we have great team unity. And that's something that I wanted to highlight tonight because they're all friends. They all get along and can work together. That's them. That picture is them right after they did their 30-minute presentation at our competition 10 days ago. What? Oh, no. Was it right? No, that was right after, actually. And you were all thrilled and excited. And you said that was fun. That's their lucky thing. They're phenomenal. They keep me on task. This team builds off of the computer science teaching that's going on in all the elementary schools. So they learn really basic coding from there, and then they will take it and they will design robots for different challenges. And this year, the Lego challenge was called Submerged, and it was all ocean themed. And they actually, do you want to take the robot out? And you can show them the robot as we're talking. So they have 2 of their robots in this tub.
So because they only have one attached and place in the area, it's weird.
Yes. But this is their, hold up our main competition robot, Pierce. Oh, Erin has it. Excuse me. Erin has it, and it has different attachments, and they learn how to code it to accomplish different missions on the mat, and each mission is worth different points. So they have to write the code. They have to figure out how to save the code and keep it so it's working. They have to figure out all the different measurements. In fact, our team does durations of how long the wheel spins in order to measure how far to go somewhere. So they have to do all those calculations in their head, and it can get quite complex, a lot of critical thinking. Yeah. But it's great. And then they also have to think really creatively in order to solve some of the problems. So Wyatt, you should show them your little catcher that you built for on top of the Lego machine, on top of the robot. Do you want to tell them what that does?
Yeah. I built this attachment for. I was working on Unexpected Encounter, and we named the squid. And this attachment helps us catch him so he doesn't fall off.
Yeah, so you can capture him when you release him and then bring him back to where you can touch him.
I guess you want to capture. So we could take him to the cold sea.
Different part.
Deep sea.
Deep sea. Yeah. So as part of the Lego competition, they also have an innovation project that the students have to do. And like I said, this year, the theme of the competition was submerged. So it was all about the ocean. Moena, what did we learn about where we live though?
None of the water really goes to the ocean. It just soaks up into the ground.
Yeah. So they learned a lot about our geography, and they were a bit stumped on how we could help the ocean. So does anybody want to elaborate on where we went with that? Haddon, what did we do?
Then we thought of like energy heating up the oceans and giving people less time to it. And like melting the glaciers and killing the animals out there. And so we decided to do stuff on like renewable energy, and we thought of different kinds, and we narrowed it down to one type of energy, which was geothermal.
Absolutely. And Aranam, you helped design this pamphlet a lot, didn't you? Yeah, so Aranam learned how to work in Canva, and she laid it all out, and the team helped edit a few things, but it's just a prototype. We made 2 other prototypes of this brochure, and we want to add the more information part where people can go and learn more about how they can put geothermal into their houses. Anybody else want to add anything about our brochure?
We also want to bring it to the STEM fairs for our school for it to have other people know about geothermal energy.
So we're gonna finish it up and try to have a little table at the STEM fair and present it. Perhaps ask some community people if they'd like to have it in their spaces for people. So that's all their idea that they came up with as a solution for helping the oceans. That's how they thought they could help the oceans. This is some of their code that they did. So this is a piece of code that that's half of it. I couldn't fit it all on one screen. So that's the kind of coding that they're doing, and we're working to progress towards more sensor work, but that's what they could do. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Pierce and Aranam were working on it, and it's coral and shark.
So what does that mean though?
Yeah. So one of the missions called, which we decided, nickname Shark, was we had to release the shark into our home area so we can grab it and take it into one of the areas that, called Shark Cove, I believe. And then we decided to add another mission into the code so we can do 2 in one code, which was coral nursery. And so one of them, so for one of the coral nursery, we had to raise coral buds up to gain some points.
Complex little piece there. And this, I included these because these are the Lego
core values, right? You agree with me, Riker? Yeah. So they are discovery, innovation, impact.
Inclusion, teamwork, and fun.
Yeah. So we try to include all of those at every meeting that we have. Do you have any questions for us? I think that's, oh, I did include one amazing picture of, because we had a tough meet. We had, we went up one time for, and somehow all the code had been erased off of our robot. So that was a little embarrassing maybe, or frustrating. Yeah, and we had to recover from that and re-download it all. So they really showed a lot of perseverance and resilience in that competition. So they did wonderfully.
That actually was one of the questions I do have is what's involved with, once you write in code, how do you put that into to your robot? Is it, do you plug it in the computer and like download it onto it, or is it a wireless or?
Or you can do Bluetooth. With the Bluetooth, there's a button in the top corner that says next. You put it in, it brings you to a screen. And then it shows the robot, like it says the name, and then you click it, and then there's a bottom, or there's a button in the bottom that says pair, and then you connect with it. And then that's how I can compete.
Sounds like you were able to recover pretty quickly then.
We had it all saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't bring the computer up to the table with them. So everything has to be on their robot. So
Gotcha.
everything was on their robot, and by the time we got to the table, it was gone.
And
So they had to stand there and just cheer on the other team instead of run what they had. So, and they did a very good job of that.
I think it's obvious you're hitting all 6 of those core values. You know, teamwork, that everybody looks like they're having fun. No.
Nervous right now.
No, but everybody's got smiles and everybody's engaged too. It's really, really cool to see you all working together. So keep it up.
They do. They all participate, which is amazing.
This is an incredible group of kids. And it's, if you guys can ever make it to a Lego Challenge event, you will be astounded and very proud of our future and what we have coming up. Because these kids, they're very, very smart, and they're not just smart, they're amazing kids. And they all get along, and it's a great program to have.
Led by 2 fantastic teachers.
So Lucky Coders, when's your next competition?
My mic is working.
Do we have any more competitions this year? No,
All
we
done?
didn't make it to date.
I'm gonna say it's probably around November again.
November again next year.
Perfect.
And
But we're gonna do some workshops, right?
and keep learning.
Keep learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to into the why his head's lucky.
Whose head is lucky?
So basically, he's
Yeah.
and this
Oh.
started last season where basically we would I don't know how to explain it. Basically,
They rub his head.
give him a look.
And last season, we actually did make it to state, so they don't want to mess up any.
Was lucky.
You know, some people sucks, they rub his head, so at least our kids smelled it.
Any more questions for us?
Hadden had something he wanted to add, though. What were you wanting Toby to look for?
During the workshops, we were all thinking that maybe we could do a bit with sensors since we didn't do much with them during the competition.
Yeah, we're gonna progress our coding ability in the off season, so.
He was looking forward to.
Do you do brainstorming sessions where you just sit around and talk about what you want to do, and that's how you came up with geothermal?
We do that like sometimes in the practices, like we use part of the practice to do that and then part of it to do like coding and innovation. So more to that in the beginning, of trying to figure out what we're gonna do for our innovation project, we didn't do it as much more, once we figured it out.
So do your ideas come from like reading something somewhere or seeing a video somewhere?
We kind
or-
of like sit at a table in the corner and like talk about like what we should do and like what our problem should be and what our solution should be. And what could help our solution. Like
Very
support.
nice. Did we do any research?
So. Yeah. And then my grandpa Jim Lindsay, came and showed us some examples of geothermal and flows. So that geothermal can be stay down or heat up things and cool down things.
Did you talk about geothermal that's here? in
We
Elko?
did, and I contacted, my friend Pam Latin, who's still listed as the contact person for like Elko Heat Company. And, she's down in Arizona, I think, for the winter. So, this was his grandfather did geothermal leasing for 10 years for the BLM, so he was quite expert. But they discovered why Elko is where it is, huh?
Yeah.
In this whole process, we discovered why Elko is located, why here at this spot where there was hot water in the river. So it's kind of a fascinating trajectory of their thinking about the oceans to go really close to home where felt like they could have an impact. Wasn't where I thought we would go. That's the beauty of kids.
Exactly.
projects.
Well, good job.
Well done. Congratulations again. Thank you. We'll give it just another couple minutes for them to finish clearing out. Not just the lucky coders, but the remaining of the student athletes as well. Thank you.
Have fun.
1.07 is recognition of our November S.T.A.R.S recipients.
That's me. So today we went around and were able to bring S.T.A.R.S Awards to 3 very deserving people. 2 of them are joining us this evening, one in person, one on Zoom, and the other I think we'll plan on seeing in January. And so I'm gonna talk about 2 of them today. The first one is on Zoom with us right now. So if we could get Mr. Walker up on the screen. There we go. There he is. Hello, Mr. Walker. So Cage Walker is a science teacher at Spring Creek Middle School, teaches the 6th grade students. And I got to find out today just how much the 6th grade loves Mr. Walker. So Mr. Walker was nominated by a young lady named Noah Rowland, Rowland, I think. And she wrote a very sweet nomination for Mr. Walker. And she said, this nominee should be recognized because he is kind and caring to students. He is always so helpful and he enlightens many, she used the word enlightens, he enlightens many kids' lives, including mine. I think he is always kind and never yells, never raises his voice, and helps students when they most need it. That's why I, Noah Rowland, nominate Cage Walker. So well-constructed couple of or few sentences, and I love that we got to find out from Noah the things that mean the most to her in an adult that she's in the charge of, and she mentions how kind he is and caring, and how he treats her with respect and helps, and so it was really great to hear from her perspective those things that matter to her, and the every presentation's a little different, and so this one was a lot of fun. We tricked all the sixth grade teachers, including Mr. Walker, into coming to the lunchroom at the time that sixth grade lunch was starting. And so every sixth grader that was in attendance at school today got to loudly celebrate Mr. Walker as it was revealed that he was a S.T.A.R.S Award winner. And on top of the nice things that Noah said, it's important to point out that Mr. Walker is well respected and appreciated from his administrators. They had nothing but nice things to say when they found out it was him. They were very excited. And Mr. Walker, in addition to being a teacher at Spring Creek Middle, also coaches athletics in multiple sports up at the high school. So he's continues to be involved in positively impacting these, some of these students' lives even after they leave Spring Creek Middle and head up to the high school. And I mean, high fives in abundance and screams and cheers for Mr. Walker at lunch today. It was pretty great. So, one more time, congratulations, Mr. Walker, and thanks for being a star.
Thank you so much.
All right, and our other visitor today is sitting in the back there, and she gets to come up to the podium. And this is Miss Brittany Riesbeck. And so Brittany's a lot of fun. I got to interact with her this summer as a game show host at the training for bus drivers. Mr. Cranko over there, he got to witness that as well. And obviously Seth is our director of transportation. So Brittany is a phenomenal bus driver in our transportation department. And her nominator wished to remain anonymous, but I'm going to read what that person said about Brittany. Brittany is a school bus driver as well as a school bus driver trainer. Brittany goes above and beyond what is required of her all the time. She drives the Antelope bus in Spring Creek, and her students are always greeted warmly, and she has created a safe place for them during the short period of time that they are on the bus. Brittany decorates her bus regularly and paints winter themes on all of our Spring Creek buses for the month of December. So if you've ever seen a bus in Spring Creek that's been painted, it's probably Brittany that did it. She participates in all the theme days that she can. Her students have been known to be driven by Grandma Bernice on the 100th day of school, which I saw a picture of that. It was some good costume and makeup work. It looked nothing like Brittany. It was amazing. She'll dress as an elf during December or anything that goes with the theme day at their school. Brittany is constantly creating new ways to keep the students engaged and ready for the day. They play the Would You Rather game on the bus, and the kids love it. Brittany takes bus safety seriously and is always coming up with ideas and ways to talk to the students so they understand not just the how, but also the why. As a driver trainer, Brittany helps all of our new drivers as they learn to navigate the difficulties that sometimes come with the job. Brittany makes the workplace fun and is always keeping the morale upbeat and positive. She goes out of her way for everyone and is always willing to go the extra mile to help when she can. So that's Brittany, and thank you so much for being again, you can see the things that matter here. Safe, kind, courteous, loving, caring environment. Like that's where it all begins for kids having a great day, and you get to be that first person to see them and set that stage for them. And so thank you so much for doing that and being that, and also being a good example to the other drivers that you work with. And a lot of them were present. So the bus drivers, when they're done in the morning, a lot of them just go about their day and then they come back later, and a bunch of them came back especially just to be there to celebrate with Brittany. So it's clear that she's well liked among her peers as well. So congratulations, Brittany. Gotta shake hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
While Brittany is shaking hands, I will take the moment to thank our sponsors. As always, thanks to Leanne's Floral Designs, beautiful bouquets that we were able to hand off today. And thanks also to Maverick Gaming, the Rotary Club of Elko Desert Sunrise, and the S.T.A.R Restaurant and Hotel. Or Hotel and Restaurant, I'm not sure which order it is. The S.T.A.R. We all know what the S.T.A.R is.
Yes, thank you very much again to the sponsors and congratulations to our S.T.A.R recipients. 1.08 is input from the public. This is a period of time devoted to comments by the general public, if any. In the interest of privacy and due process, the public is requested to not raise personnel issues except in a legally noticed closed session of the board. Comments are limited to 3 consecutive minutes. The speaker's time may not be reserved, divided, apportioned, or deferred. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been included specifically on an agenda as an item upon which action will be taken. With that, is there any public comment? All right, I read all that for nothing. So 2.01 is receipt, review, and possible approval of the 2025-2026 ECCTA intent to bargain. This is for possible action. Who wants to take this one? Mr. Krinka?
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Anderson?
This is a every year thing usually. Our unions, we have 3 of them, and they, if they have any intention of engaging in negotiations during the year, this is an official step that they have to do not only with us, but with the EMRB. Is that what it is? All right. Yeah. I don't know what EMRB stands for exactly. But anyway, they have to file with this association with the state and then notify us that they intend to bargain. So, yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
All right, motion and second. Any questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 2.02 is receipt, review, and possible approval of the 2025-2026 ECSSO intent to bargain. I'm assuming the same thing applies here.
Same thing for the support staff union.
Great.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 2.03 is receipt, review, and possible approval of fall incentive grants. This is for possible action.
Yep, I'll take it. Our grant manager, Megan, is, she should be in New Orleans by now, but she's been traveling all day and is off to a conference for grants purposes. So there's a lot more work that went into this process than what you see on the screen. But we attached the 6 applications that we are recommending for approval. There were a lot of conversations. We had a committee basically of a handful of us here at central office who looked through these and made sure they met the correct criteria. In certain applications where there was maybe some misunderstandings or snafus, we just kind of, worked through those and talked about them together and talked with the schools about them as well, just to make sure we're all on the same page. But what you have before you today is a recommendation from us. So in that table that's there under public content, name of the project, how much they asked for, how much they provided as a match, and then the important column is the one to the right that says amount approved. And that is what the committee who reviewed these is recommending. Those are the amounts we're recommending to approve for each of these 6 applications that are on this item today.
I'll make a motion to improve, I'll make a motion to approve the fall incentive grants.
Second?
All righty, motion and second. Discussion. Mr. Anderson, quick question in regards to the Mountain View Elementary. The amount requested obviously was above the match amount. Are they going to try to raise the rest of that match amount, or are they just sacrificing those touch screens based on that? Any ideas?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They'll either just get fewer clear touches, it will probably be 1 fewer, I would imagine, looking at that amount, or they'll seek other ways to fund that.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the table. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 2.04 is appointment of a school board member or members to attend the Battle Born Youth Challenge Academy Class of 24-2 graduation ceremony. This will be on the 13th of December, and this is for possible action. I can just let everybody know now, not that I want no one else to attend, but I will already be attending. So I'm happy to have somebody else join on the stage. This will be at 1 p.m. at the Great Basin College Theater. Is anyone else available?
I'll join you.
Okay.
I would love to go, but I'm not available. But
Okay.
those are great.
Yeah,
graduations,
likewise.
So.
Okay. Alrighty, then we will have Miss Neal and myself join, and Mr.
I'm not a board member, but I'll be there too.
Perfect,
Yep.
because Mr. O'Connell called yesterday and asked me if he knew if any of the admin were going to be able to attend.
Yep.
Will Mr. Allen be attending as well, or just yourself? Any ideas?
Cody's shaking his head no, so.
Okay. Great. Alrighty.
He knows something I don't, but okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. Ms. Gray, if you could let them know, we'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't know that we need to necessarily vote on this unless there's any strong objections. Great. All right.
Carry on.
Carrying on. 2.05 and 2.06 have been removed. So 2.07 is receipt, review, and possible approval of the Balanced Governance Board Governance Services Proposal for 2024-2025 from Dr. Thomas Alsbury. I'll jump in a little bit on this. We've met with Dr. Alsbury a couple of times now, and he has presented on board governance. He also presented to the NASB meeting when they were here this past fall. This proposal gives what I have suggested to the board as two potentials. One is services 1 through 3, and the second would be an additional service 4. Total for all 4 would be $49,000. Comments or questions?
Yeah, I'll start. Mine was mostly just budget related in that, do we have this budgeted for? Is this going to take away from anything else? Question along that line.
It's not budgeted for already because we started talking about this after the budget was set for this year. So that's a no to the first one, but to the second question, yes, it would be okay. We can make it work.
That was my question too.
And I think it would be a valuable service since I'm got my microphone on still.
Thank you. I'm going to just throw in as well that the reason that I had moved it forward is I believe it is important for the board to, well, frankly, to invest in itself as well. We provide a lot of opportunities for improvement within the district on all levels. And this is something that I think our board could become stronger at and more effective, which should pay dividends down the road with the management of the district. So that's why I had suggested that it be added on there and why I've been in contact along with Ms. Gray on reaching this proposal with Dr. Alsbury.
I also think it's one of those things that benefits us and can benefit future board members because the information can be passed along and there'll be like a pattern. So I think it's good for future use as well.
Further discussion? How would the board like to proceed? All righty.
I'm going to go ahead and make that motion that we approve the Balanced Governance Board Services Proposal 1 through 4.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Further discussion?
I thought you were gonna be quicker on that, sorry.
I was worried it was gonna die for
He
lack of
grabbed for the
action.
mic and I was like, he's got it. Anyway, sorry.
All righty, motion is to approve 1 through 4. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. And we'll go ahead and get this started as quickly as we can. The next regular meeting of the board should be the board organization. And so at that point, the board president can continue to work with Dr. Asbury directly and move forward on this. Thank you very much. Next up, 2.08 is receipt of a central office department update. This is a non-action item. Mr. Robinson, you are ready to go. I'm glad this time you didn't have to run in to, stop us from doing something drastic.
Yeah. Okay. I want to give you guys an update on the E-rate projects I have going on, and then some other projects that we've either completed or are working on completing. And the E-rate projects I have, there's only one on this list that I haven't mentioned, or that I have mentioned before. So most of these others are new. Montello, I just was able to complete them maybe 3 weeks. We got fiber up to Montello. And we canceled HughesNet, so they're no longer on satellite. That is a pretty big, I'm pretty thrilled about that one. I never thought I'd get a rural school on fiber, let alone all 3 of them, or all 4 of them. So I'm really excited about that. Oahe, I know this is a dead horse, I know. Every time I get up here, hey, I'm getting Oahe done. This time, Oahe, we have a contract. We're working very closely with the state to get this project done. It is going to be for the new building, not the existing school. And it is looking like the fiber will be complete for the 25-26 school year. Even though the school won't be complete, the fiber will already be there. We will not be charged our monthly fees until services actually started. So if we don't start school until the 26-27 year or 27-28 school year, that's when the monthlies will actually kick in. The new ones on my list, I have Sage and transportation in both Elko and Spring Creek. Those are tied together as one project. They are in a pending mode. They're waiting for funding to be approved at the federal level. Ruby Valley and Mountain Valley are in the same state that Oahe's in. They're actually under contract. They are going through and getting the permitting. They're in the permitting stage. So they're telling me, Zito is telling me that they will have fiber at those schools for the start of 25-26 school year. That was all Category 1 funding. Category 2 funding, which is bringing us into the buildings rather than connecting the buildings. We're actually talking about the fiber inside the buildings. This project I've had on the list, and I believe I've talked to you about it before, the Spring Creek High, Spring Creek Middle, Elko High, and Adobe. They are still pending, waiting for funding to be approved. And that's where we're at on E-rate projects. Some additional projects we've had going on. We delivered 2 schools, 2 students, 2,500 Chromebooks at the start of school. So that was a pretty good undertaking. The old Chromebooks we went through and collected pretty close to the same amount that we distributed out. And those have been sent back to Trafera, and we get a credit for those for our next order. Another project that we've been working on is our servers here in the building. They are 10 years old and end of life. So I've ordered new ones. They're on the way. We can get those up to date and keep them up to date. Anybody have questions, concerns, comments?
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it. All righty then. 3.01 is our consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? On favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 4.01 is our superintendent's report. Mr. Anderson.
All righty, hello. Something, I'll do this first, that is attached to the superintendent's report. It was attached, like an hour or so before half hour before the meeting started. That was intentional to wait that long. If you'll recall, a couple of weeks ago and at the last board meeting, I indicated that we would have a survey run through all of Thanksgiving week, as well as today and yesterday. And I think even a little bit the week before Thanksgiving. But anyway, it was about a 2-week period for a survey to go to staff, to parents, guardians, and to students. The one to staff was sent in an email by me. The one to parents and guardians was sent through emails to all of parents. And then the decision was made for the email for student participation to send that or to make it available to students at school in grades 6 through 12. And instead of blast emailing a ton of kids unawares of what was going on, principals at each school were tasked with creating some sort of a method of carrying that out at their school. So whether that was through an advisory period or through all the English classes or whatever. So what you have are 3 different documents that include, one for each of the 3 groups of people. We had over 2,000 survey respondents, actually close to 3,000. It was about 2,800 something, which is a lot of responses. It's good. We had, a little over 1,000 parents, about 400 to 500 staff members, and then another 1,200 students or something like that. So good representation as far as surveys go. And so I'm not going to there's a lot of questions and a lot of them. One thing I will say for each of those documents that I gave you is you will see some questions that have an edit note under them. There's probably 2 or 3 per. I found something out about Google surveys this time, or Google Forms this time, that I didn't realize, because after we put the survey out, I had some people say, hey, there's this spelling error or there's this other thing. And instead of just keeping everything there, Google Forms creates a whole new question. And so if I edited 3 questions on a thing where there were 5 responses, now I have 8 different answers, because if disagree was missing an S, I have all the answers for agree and all the answers for disagree. And so I had to do some basic math, but didn't want that to be. So on those that have an edit below them, those are the true results. And so those are something to keep in mind. So what we're going to do now, and I mean, the results are probably similar to what you would think. There might be some things that are surprising. So in general, students really want to have their phones available all the time and don't think they're of negative impact much of the time. I'm not going to say all of them, but definitely at greater percentages than the adults in their life think. And they think there should be some flexibility to how that's implemented at each campus and in each teacher's classroom, that sort of thing. Parents are somewhere in between the students and the staff, where parents recognize that there are things that could be negatively impacting, but also sure do like being able to contact their kid as whenever they want to. And so not leaning towards super restrictive, but also in favor of more restrictions. And then teachers are or staff are a little more on the other end of the student spectrum, which is they're a problem and they need to be more, not the students, the phones. The phones are a problem. And we love the students. The phones, just want to clarify, love the students, Iris. And my kids at home. But that the phones are distracting, they're difficult, they're a problem. What I did not include in this survey or in your responses, because there were over 2,000 of them, is there was like an open feedback section. So I did not give you over 2,000 people's open-ended answers. What I will do with that information, and this is something that is kind of exciting about this, it's going to be a task for me, but it's exciting anyway, is the last question of each of the 3 survey tracks was, are you interested in being and participating on a committee to help develop a policy about this? And we got more than 335 people who were willing to do that. I obviously can't have a committee of 335 people. I can't have a committee of 20 people. Committees are by design meant to be smaller for this type of thing. So yeah, we had 152 parents that were willing, 169 students willing, and 64 staff members willing. So I'm publicly declaring that I intend to do just a random sampling of each of those groups. So I will use codes in Excel to determine who those random participants are. And I will send an email to everyone who was willing and tell them thank you for your willingness. Due to overwhelming willingness to participate, we had to limit participation. And then to the people that are randomly selected, I will send them a different email that says thank you, and we would like to, and then I'll do like a doodle poll or something to figure out a time for us all to meet. So that's the next step. Is legal and I have drawn up some semblance of like a basic structure of what a policy might include, and then the committee, which would consist of people from central office, to represent different groups, as well as site administrators, as well as teachers and staff, as well as students and parents, et cetera. We'll get together, we'll look at that, we'll review the feedback and the surveys together, and we'll probably have multiple meetings to come up with something that will eventually come before you, the board, for review. And that's where we are in the process. So thank you for your patience on this one. I'm encouraged by the number of participants and the number of willing participants in the future. So that's all. Anyone have any questions about cell phone saga?
No questions. I do want to say that today I happened to be researching something else and stumbled upon Carson City implementing a cell phone ban in high school at Carson City High School at the beginning of this school year. Apparently the middle school had already had a ban in place, and the report had indicated, it was just a public news report, but it had indicated that administration, I believe, said that altercations had been reduced by at least half, and it may have been by a quarter. And students and staff both had said something along the lines of the encouragement of having someone video an altercation is taken away without those cellular phones. So thought that was kind of interesting that we're seeing it in more than just our area.
Yeah, I know Washoe is also, they've just kind of finished their public facing side of stuff, and they're getting a policy in place. They have a clever name for it, like phones away, ready to learn, or I can't remember what it's something. They have like a catchphrase for it, but it's the same concept. Yeah, I think that, and this doesn't just go for students, this goes for adults too. I don't think we quite understand the stranglehold that these devices have on our attention and on our just our daily life. And so I'm always quick. I talked about this on the radio last month. I'm very quick to say I am not the model citizen when it comes to appropriate amounts of screen time and phone usage. I'm not the best at it, but I can acknowledge research and data and things like that. So yeah, we're moving forward. And I appreciate all the people that shared their opinions. It's great.
Do you happen to know if there's if people volunteered from all the outlying areas? Probably not yet.
We
I'm
did.
just curious
We
if
did not.
there's
have a question that,
But I mean, that said they would be on the committee, sorry. So, oh, so you don't know whether.
there isn't a question that distinguishes what school they came from or anything like that. I wasn't, when we made the survey, there are certain topics that I feel like would differentiate an Elko High School from a Carlin, from an Owyhee. This topic didn't feel like it was necessarily as important to have that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But the same problems I experienced in Houston, I experienced in Wells. I see at my kid's school at Adobe, it's all, the phones do the same thing everywhere they go. It's the same phone anywhere you are. The only thing that I've heard people argue is, well, it's a smaller class size in some places, so not as difficult to manage. But I don't know if that could be an outsider's perspective. I don't think a teacher would say it's any easier to manage just because they have 20 kids as opposed to 28, or 12 as opposed to 26. Like, they're still difficult, and people are still very much attached to them. So that was a long answer to no. We didn't have a question to do that. What I will try to do, though, when doing the random sampling, is try to make sure that there are like a variety of perspectives represented in there. And so it's not all just people that say, yeah, ban them, right? Like, I don't want to have a committee that's imbalanced with one type of voice. So
Thank you for doing the committee, because
yep,
I like that. And Washill's thing was called Phone Away and Learn Today.
phone away.
Sorry, I have their email right in front of me, so I'm like.
I had the right idea with both of those phrases. It just wasn't rhyming.
I'd love to hear Iris's perspective.
Yes.
Yes.
So as a student who's taken like several AP courses and stuff, and then like thinking about students now versus when I was in school, like phones weren't really a thing for us like in elementary school versus now that I'm seeing more and more kids like younger having a phone. I definitely think like that isn't necessary for their development and education and that they could be a distraction. But in high school, obviously they can be a distraction, but I have found them to be kind of useful sometimes. If a teacher is busy or like work is presented and they're moving so fast, obviously sometimes taking a picture can like help reflect back. And then looking back at our community, I know that a lot of parents are concerned about safety, and I think that would be a big issue here too. Thinking about like how many threats Elko High School personally has had, or like false alarms within my time here. I think it's been like 5, which is quite a bit. So it's scary, and like we want to let our parents know what's going on. But I really do think it just depends on the school and the age level of cell phone use. Thank you.
Any other thoughts on the cell phone side of things? Okay. Then I guess going back, and so I know we removed JDFD and JDFG, and I did come prepared to talk about that discipline data that was asked for. Do you want me to cover that now, or do you want me to just send that to everybody in email and you can chew on it for the next month?
I think just send it, right?
I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna be bad.
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I would
I'll
just send it over.
send it your way then. To make sure I don't, so I know what I have here. Can you reiterate? I think it was maybe you and or Jeff. What were the exact types of data you're looking for? I just want to make sure I have everything correct.
It was just the occurrences of, it was it was how many, and then, well, in the policy, we were supposed to be getting those reports. It said full report on the current policy that hasn't been changed. And so we just didn't have any of that information in front of us at all. So I don't know that I need like full reports of everything, but if someone asked me how many occurrences have happened, I wouldn't have any even approximate number. Someone came up and told me there was 1 million of them in the district. I couldn't argue it at all. I mean, I would argue that's unreasonable, but I wouldn't have any actual data to.
Sure.
So, I mean.
So let me, what I plan on sending you is the number of occurrences of 3 days of suspension or greater, both in-school suspension and out-of-school suspension, along with how many long-term suspensions, along with how many expulsions, and how many of those were requested to go through due process. Is that
Yeah, is there, I mean, are there timeframes in there too as well? Like,
three
like
years worth
dates?
of 2 years prior to this year and
Okay.
then this year,
Yeah.
up to date.
Okay, yeah, just so we have a time frame reference in
Mhm.
there too.
Yes, yeah.
Can it be broken down by elementary, junior high, or high school, or
Yes.
is that?
Yep.
Because it'd be interesting to know.
I mean, I'll tell you off the top of my head, it's 7th through 10th grade. That's where I would bet 80% of them, 75 to 80% come in those 4 grade levels, which is.
No, you're good. I was saying, yeah, broken down into 3 categories of, I believe it was, long-term suspension, expulsion, and a permanent expulsion.
Yep.
And the breakdown on the.
Okay. I won't include permanent expulsion because that number is 0. We haven't had a permanent expulsion for the 2 years plus this year. And people thinking back just couldn't recall of one. It's a very rare occurrence for something like that to happen, someone to be banished from a school district. So it's not frequent. So we don't have any of those.
Hence why we've never heard an appeal on this.
Yes, correct. Yep. Okay. Well, I'll send that out to you.
And CJ, I apologize. To clarify, you said 3+ for suspension in-house and out of school.
Yes.
And then is there also 9+?
I don't.
I was trying to quickly look up the terms.
We could do that if that's important to you. There would only be in the last 3 years like 70 that we'd have to look through to see if they were beyond 9 or beyond 8.
Okay.
Or beyond a week of
Significant
school.
suspension and long-term suspension were the 2 terms I was looking
Right.
for, and
Yeah. Okay.
breaking
makes
that out
sense.
only because that's how we define it.
Yep.
That would give an idea of how many are we actually looking at.
How many
You know,
are
obviously we
in
would.
the due process conversation versus the appeal process conversation? Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a reason that obviously aggregated, not individualized, but is there a reason that aggregated total couldn't be included in the next agenda as a data point, piece of background information to both of these agendas?
No,
I mean, both of these.
Yeah, there would.
policies.
It's stuff we put in
Perfect.
public reports already anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, that might also be helpful. We'll have a chance to look it over, but then.
Sure.
Great, thank you.
And then just FYI, tomorrow, leading into, so we have I'm sure Jeff was going to bring this up, but we've got our ASB conference coming up this week. But prior to that, so the day before, I won't get into that, Jeff, but the day before that, I'm heading out a day before you guys because I'm going to go present at the State Board of Ed meeting in Carson City to discuss, successes that we're experiencing here and to really have a conversation about things as they are measured by the NSPF or the Nevada report card STAR ratings. So things that we're doing and how they enter into that equation, but also the many things that we're doing that are totally not regarded in our school ratings and why those things matter to us and to our community. And I'll be one of about probably 8 to 10 other superintendents that are going to be there having the same conversation with our State Board of Ed so they understand those things. And then Monday, the 16th, I like to use the word summoned. I was summoned by the Subcommittee on Education Accountability. It's a legislative subcommittee to come present along with Clark and Washoe. So I'm really hoping they're excited to hear from Clark and Washoe and leave me alone. But I have to go talk to them basically in accounting for everything we've done with with our portion of the 2.6 billion that was infused into the pupil-centered funding plan a couple of years ago, and to also discuss with them challenges that exist from that standpoint to, as it pertains to funding and how if we feel like there's any inequities or how it's confusing and kind of what impact it's had on us. Because it's had some good impact, but there's also been some things that have been difficult. And we all know at this table, having been here for the last 2+ years, that I don't think it's my fault, but pretty much since just before I got here, we've had budget problems, and it pretty much aligns straight up with when the people-centered funding plan started. So I'm not trying to push blame off myself. I know we're working real hard to keep the budget where it needs to be, but it's been tough since that new plan happened. So I don't want to say it's all bad, but it's had some negative impact on Elko County School District and some of the other rurals as well. So I will be down there in a couple weeks as well, just so you know. And so when you see the financials come through for that travel, I got to be there for that, and hopefully have a positive impact on the legislators that are there, so they can hear from Elko's perspective.
Go ahead, Jeff.
What day is that you'll be there? So you're going out Thursday?
It's a Monday the 16th.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about
the State Board of Ed is tomorrow. I have to leave here first thing in the morning tomorrow to get to that, because it starts early afternoon. So yeah, two different meetings. There's some overlap in the topics because they're different bodies. One's the State Board of Ed and one's the Legislative Subcommittee. But the State Board of Ed is looking a little more for stuff about, things as they relate to school successes and accountability and things like that. And then the other side really wants to know what we're doing with the funding and what impact it's having. So I'll make sure to tell about the good things we're doing there too, but try to tie it to funding.
Sitting on that Monday meeting, did they give any indication as to if Elko is representative of rurals? In the questions that they may have submitted, was there a particular thing they were looking for? I mean, it's not like
It's been very similar questions. So I think other rural districts have already had to present.
Okay.
And I don't know if they just saved the 3 big ones because we're the next biggest after Washoe. So I'm not sure how they ordered school districts the way they ordered them. I do know that ours has a couple of unique questions because of AB 519, the Owyhee School, and capital improvement funding projects in general. And so that's a section. I don't know if maybe others were asked about capital improvement, but we're certainly the only ones being asked about Owyhee and AB 519. So there may be some sort of kind of differences depending on district, but I think in large part, they want to know a lot of the same things of how's that money helped with teacher recruitment retention, with special education funding, with at-risk funding, and just they have a list of things. And then I think at the end, it's kind of like, oh yeah, and what about this?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to present?
No, I think I'm probably good. Yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. Comments or questions for Mr. Anderson? All righty, 5.01 is items from the board members. Who wants to go first? Ms. Iris, I won't put you on the spot. We'll let you kind of close out the board comments at the end if you'd like. So,
Okay, thank you.
fair warning, you're welcome to speak if you'd like at the end. Anybody have anything?
I do. Just, you may have seen it advertised, but the Titans Holiday Market on December 15th supports teachers and students at Spring Creek Middle. And if you'd like to support the Elko County Reading Council, they have a book tree at any of the mud huts. And I went there today to the Elko one, and there's still lots of little light bulbs that have books on there. So if you're interested in helping get some books for some of our students, check out the trees. So that's all I have.
All righty, Dr. Myers.
I'm just going to plug our shoe drive. We work with community and schools. So any shoes we collect, we're doing new or gently used. Donations this year are a little down. So we're just looking for some. If you got some in the back of your closet and they're not full of dirt or mud, I'd be happy to take those. But they will go right back to the schools. So
So it's not over? Because I thought it was done. I'm like,
So,
oh, I forgot to do
yeah,
that.
we've extended another week. We usually have some folks kind of bring some towards the end of the
I'll
week.
get you some shoes.
Okay, I appreciate that. So, and our power partners, we collect them this week, so we can put them all together and give them back a couple hundred. I think last year we were in the 300 to 400 pairs, so all sizes. Just make sure they can wear them, right? So, and then I would encourage you to look at the Santa tracker, and there's a publication that has a bunch of Santas. We're doing a Santa pick at our office, but there's quite a few of them now. And so that's a big deal as we go. You get pictures with your kids with Santa. So that's all I got.
All right, we got NASB conference coming up this weekend in Reno. I'll be out a day early for the joint board meeting of NASB. It's pretty benign as far as the agenda. It's mostly just financial report and stuff. So there's not really much there, but I will be there early on Thursday for that one. And then everybody should have gotten materials emailed to you. There's an AI class that's on Saturday. I believe it was Saturday morning. Even though I'm announcing in another class, I would urge you to check that one out. But she sent out some materials to check out, some free homework for it that'll help you get up in the class. And that was something that I did when I was at the national conference down in New Orleans, and it was really informative. So you want to check that out. But look forward to seeing everybody there. And yeah, that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Ladies?
I'm gonna wait to talk about this when it's back on the agenda.
Okay.
So, yeah, I won't share anything now.
Okay, sounds good. Iris, would you like to say anything? No need to, just if you'd like.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay, all right, I appreciate it. My regrets that I can't attend NASB, the NASB conference. The Senior Center's largest fundraiser is this weekend, and my job kind of requires me to be there. So won't be able to attend this year. Hopefully next year we'll be able to find a non-conflicting week. And during the joint conference, I know that Teresa, we had talked a little bit about this in Wells, well, not Wells, in Halleck. Thank you. And so I encourage you and Jeff to talk about having a Northeastern State conference or something up this way. That would be great. And love to be able to host the rest of the state in our neck of the woods. We are anticipating having a meeting next week. This is a non-regular meeting, I should say. It is going to be scheduled. There's only one item on the agenda. We hope to keep it that way, and it's a required agenda item in regards to augmenting the budget. So there will be one more meeting, but for those that are in attendance virtually or in person today, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all of that other fun stuff, and we'll go from there. So with nothing further, we will go into 6.01, approval of the accounts payables.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll just disclose that I have a family member who is employed by Wells Rural Electric, but I will not be abstaining.
I will disclose that I have a family member that works for Wells Rural Electric, but will also not be abstaining.
I'm voting today.
Great. All righty. Thanks for disclosing that you're voting.
Yes.
All righty, there is a motion on the table and no further discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 7.01 is the final opportunity for input from the public. All right, then seeing none, 7.02 is a motion to move into closed session per NRS 288.220 for discussions on direction for upcoming negotiations. This is for possible action.
I move into closed session.
All righty, further discussion? Just let everybody know we will be in closed session for an undisclosed period of time when we will come back to discuss any action deemed appropriate before we adjourn the regular meeting. No need for you to stick around. And if you are here, we're going to ask you to excuse yourselves while we have the room. So with that said, vote on the motion on the table to go into closed session. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. And if you're not staying, safe travels home.